Alright, welcome back everyone to another video. So today I'll be doing a episode review of Season 7, Episode 2, The Well. So personally, I thought this was a great episode. It was a nice, relaxing episode compared to last week's with the two kills. And by the way, spoiler warning, I will put it in the title as well, but if you haven't seen the episode, or you haven't seen the premiere yet, I suggest you click off now, just so I don't ruin it for you. But I'm pretty sure everyone's seen the premiere by now. Like, let's be honest, it's all over Twitter, it's all over the internet. I'm pretty confident that you guys have seen that. So, yeah, but you may not have seen this one. So yeah, there you go. There it is. It's out there. So, anyways, I like this episode. The Well. Let's just talk about the name first. So, the name is basically comes from a quote in the episode where King Ezekiel basically says, "You take from the well, you replenish the well," and that's sort of what the kingdom bases their laws upon, stuff like that. And it's also written on the wall in one of the buildings in the kingdom as well. So yes. So that's pretty cool. I like the title. It's pretty cool. I also love the title of last episodes too. The Day Will Come When You Won't Be. That was also great too. Anyway, so this was a pretty good episode. Like I said, it was a little bit boring, not gonna lie, compared to the last one, obviously. That was pretty amazing. Wow. It was a good episode, but sad. But yeah, so of course we get to meet King Ezekiel and his tiger Shiva. And here's actually a picture of it. Now for these reviews, I'll just be doing. I took screen caps of the episode, the important screen caps of the episode, sort of telling the episode in pictures. And I'm basically just going to be putting them up on the screen for you guys. It's not necessarily along with what I'm saying, but yeah, you guys can see that as well. So yeah, we got to meet King Ezekiel and his tigers. So that was a big thing. The kingdom is what we focused on, and I think it's good because I think the kingdom deserved a whole episode, so that we could figure out what they're all about, and how it looks and all that. I really think it's good that the creators put this in one big episode and not just 20 minutes and then go back to where the group is. Although that's something that frustrates me with Walking Dead sometimes. They will do an episode like last week, and then they do an episode the next week that has nothing to do with the other one. Like they did that with Season 6 with Morgan, that 90-minute episode. I think it was episode 3 of Season 6, with Morgan and his trainer, and then we learned about his whole backstory. But that had nothing to do with the episode before. But anyways, I like these episodes, though. They're pretty good. But they do at least like 2 or 3 of them each season. Anyways, so that's just my little rant there. But yeah, so we basically started the episode with Carol being carried on the wagon into the kingdom. And basically Morgan is with her. And we see him carving something in the mailbox on the way there, as well. Probably to leave for Rick and the group to hopefully find them, I guess he hopes. But I guess he maybe thinks that he's going to be staying in the kingdom for a while, and that's why he needed to make those markings. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure Carol has a different idea, obviously. But, yeah, so that little sequence at the beginning, I just want to touch on that with Carol seeing the walkers as she's sitting down against the fence, the walkers dying, and she's seeing the people. And I think that I had a talk with a friend about it too, and we both thought that it like the whole part of it was that she was done with killing and she didn't want to kill anymore. So I think that whole thing is meaning like she's seeing the walkers as people now, and she sees the importance of not killing and kind of taking a Morgan approach in a way, right? Of like peace, and she doesn't want to do all that stuff anymore, right? So she's seeing all these all the real people and starting to notice, that it's a curse, and that she like wants to be more gentle with them and stuff like that. So yeah. And I think that was a good way to represent that, if that's what they were trying to do. That's what my friend and I noticed, so that's what I'm going to bring up there. But yeah, so it's a good symbolization there. What else happened next? So, I guess we can go to this. So the Carol basically playing a role or a character that whole first half, or not for, yeah, about first half until she comes with Morgan after they meet King Ezekiel in the wheelchair there. I think I had a picture of it just before this one. But basically she's playing character, and for all the viewers out there, if anyone was actually tricked by that, I mean, come on, it's Carol. Like, I knew from right away that she was just playing dumb and trying to, like, trying to be like all impressed and stuff. And later in the episode, Ezekiel even admits that she did get him. And obviously, I guess it worked for her. But I don't know, that part of Carol annoys me sometimes. But it also makes her a really diverse character, right? Like, she can do that, and she can put that on at any time, and she's done it before, right? It's not the first time, obviously. So I thought it was okay. And I mean, I think she felt the need to do it because, like, if she didn't, she was just gonna say what she really thought, what she does in the later part of the episode about how she doesn't really care at all about the kingdom and the people in it, right? So, and like what they're doing there and stuff, she doesn't really care about the people. So yeah, I think that was a very interesting part of the episode, though. And I think it was good that they had that little scene with Morgan, where she was in a wheelchair outside of the it looked like a movie theater, by the way, that King Ezekiel was in, if I'm not mistaken there. Yeah, so right out of the movie theater. Then that's what happened there. And I like that scene because it sort of broke things down and made her, come to reality again, and kind of admitted it, actually, that she was, playing a role the whole time. So what is next? I guess I'm going to talk about Shiva a bit, the tiger. I felt like the CGI was, or is that what, yeah, I think that's what you call it, was okay. It could have been better. Like, honestly, the in the trailer that we saw, a bunch of people were critiquing it, saying that it looked really fake, and I don't know, I think tonight it looked better, although, I mean, we got 42 minutes tonight, and for the trailer we got 3, so everyone's, coming down on that trailer. They're watching it 10 times in an hour or whatever, and critiquing it, catching every second, right? Especially with the Negan cliffhanger. So maybe, it goes a little unnoticed now, or we just sort of expect it. I don't know. But it did look a little more fake than it probably should have. It didn't really look real, like it was in the room with them. But I mean, what can you do? Like, they can't get a real tiger, and I understand that. But I am just glad that they brought that to life from the comic books, and that's a really cool thing. This season is all I haven't actually read the comics, but I know a lot about them because I have friends that read them, and I've read a couple issues, but like, I'm not an avid comic book reader. But it's really cool. This season is like mainly bringing the comic books to life. Previous seasons they haven't gone this far, I don't think, at least, could be wrong. But like bringing the tiger into it, bringing Negan and the whole Lucille moment with Glenn, that was exactly from the comics. And I'm sure years ago when that issue 100 came out, they never thought that that was gonna happen on TV. But yeah, so just to recap, Shiva was awesome. It's gonna be really cool seeing the tiger in the show. But I feel like they could have made it a little bit more realistic as well. So I guess we'll talk about, this is like probably the meme of the whole show tonight, or last night, I should say, it's Monday. But Ezekiel's, I guess, right-hand man, would you say, named Jerry, the Asian guy. So a bunch of people are going off on Twitter and saying a bunch of stuff, and the whole line, the deuces line, that was pretty funny. Kind of cringy at the same time, if you know what I mean. But anyways, it's played by an actor, Cooper Andrews. I did get the name. Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to mention it, put it out there, because everyone's talking about it. And I will admit, it was kind of funny. It was kind of weird at the same time. I was like thinking, is this guy like serious or not, but he was. So yeah, like I don't know, man. It's a little weird, but that it that again sort of just like reinstates my our thought for the kingdom, like thinking that they're like it was like they're like Alexandrians before Rick and his group moved in, basically. They're like pacifists, and they really don't know what's going on outside of their walls. And I'm sure that they will learn as the season goes on. And eventually, I'm obviously predicting that the kingdom's going to be fighting the Saviors along with Rick and his group. So they'll obviously need to know that for then. But that's probably not even this season. We'll see what happens to that. But then we're gonna go now to the pig hunting in the city. So that was really interesting. As a viewer, we didn't really know at first what that all had to do with. We didn't really know. At first, I would have guessed that they were just getting some pigs to eat themselves. But then they were using the walker as bait for the pigs, and the pigs came in and all ate the walker. And that kind of, weirded me out. I'm like, well, that's a little weird. Why would they want to eat a pig that just had a walker? And of course, Morgan thinks the same as us. He says, why the walker bait if we're hunting the pigs? And then, of course, Richard, which is the kingdom man who later gets assaulted by the Savior, he says, well, I think that the quote is here, I have it down, we want rot in their belly, or they gotta have rot in their belly, was his line. So that really was confusing at first, but then when they meet up with the Saviors, it all makes sense, and it all falls into place there. But I thought it was really interesting and really smart, actually, by the way, by the kingdom to realize that and sort of sneakily get the last laugh. You know what I mean? I don't know that infects them then and there, and then they just turn into Walker and die. I don't think so, because obviously they've been doing it in the past, and I'm pretty sure Negan would bring Lucille into this, especially if his men started dying after eating the pigs that they got from the kingdom. So I'm guessing it's not doing much. Maybe it is, but I doubt anyone's actually died from it yet. Yes. So, I guess we can transfer or transition into the meeting then, which is basically the intense part of last night's episode. That was basically the whole intense part of the episode there, but compared to last week, obviously. So that was a big scene. That basically showed us how the Saviors act and what to expect for our group when Negan comes for his supplies for the first week. So basically, it goes well. They have the 8 pigs, and Richard obviously doesn't like it. And that's the big kingdom guy that gets hit a few times. But yeah, he obviously doesn't like it, and he doesn't agree with it. But he knows, and King Ezekiel knows, that they can't fight them without either losing a lot of people or just losing in general and everyone dies, right? The Saviors are a big group, bigger than probably most of us think right now, because Rick's group took out about 30 to 40 of them in that place, the satellite place that they went to. But I mean, that's not even a fraction really of all the people they have. Well, it probably is, but you know what I mean. There's a lot more. So basically, he's not really happy with it all. And when they help load the pigs in, of course, he gets in a little, I wouldn't say an argument, I guess, with the long-haired guy, who's the Savior. And basically, it was kind of brutal to watch. Basically, of course, he's a way bigger guy, way bigger dude, Richard, and he puts him in a headlock. And obviously, King Ezekiel, wanting to keep the business with the Saviors, and obviously trying to get on their good side, not trying to piss them off or anything. Basically, says Richard, let go, and it basically turns out that they let the Savior get some free hits on him since he put him in a headlock, which he had every right to. I mean, the guy was acting like an idiot, right? Um, but that's just basically how the world's going right now, and that's basically what they're trying to show us. That's how the world is now, and Negan's in charge, and the Saviors are in charge. That's basically what they're showing us. So they get away with whatever they want to, right? And Ezekiel gives in and says, free hits, and yeah, it was kind of hard to watch. It was a little bit brutal. I felt sorry for Richard because he really did not deserve it. He should have kept him in a headlock and probably took him down himself. Got some hits on him, but it's whatever. I mean, he's not injured or anything. He got hit, I think, a couple times, and then of course Ezekiel demands the Savior's leader, which I don't think we got his name, but I'm sure his name might be out there already. I'm not sure, guys. But if you do get his name, comment that down below or something. Maybe I'll research it or something like that and find it. But yeah, I don't think it came out. But anyways, he asks the Savior's leader to basically tell the guy to stop, and eventually he does. And the guy is a dick and puts a middle finger up to him or whatever. They ride away, and I think what he was doing in the back of the truck on the way, he was mocking the tiger, I think, and he was roaring like a tiger, which obviously would have probably made Ezekiel mad as well. And I liked I didn't like, but it was a good line where the Savior's leader said, keep him in line. And then he said it's produce week, so produce. Oh, I thought that was kind of clever, and very Savior-like to say something like that. And then he said something about that Richard might have to be first if they don't get enough supply to them for the produce week. So yeah, pretty interesting there. And a good line. I just like that produce week, so produce or produce. It was pretty clever. So anyways, yeah, but that whole meeting, I basically summarized it in like a couple minutes, but it was a big scene. That was probably, like I said, the most intense scene of the episode. And it was big. It kind of showed us, like I said, the world order now, and that Negan really is in charge. So yeah. Alright, and then a quick thing with that is Morgan, when Richard was getting into that fight with that Savior, again, I don't think we caught his name either, so I'm just referring to him as the Savior, but I'm sure all you guys know who I'm talking about. I had a screen cap of him a little earlier there. But this is about Morgan. So when they were getting in the fight, Morgan immediately almost pulls the gun out of his holster, or maybe just out of his belt, and points it at him, and gets ready to shoot almost. And I think that's really representing that he's maybe changing because he shot and killed the guy who was harming Carol. And maybe in his mind that was too much, and he definitely didn't want to kill him, you could see, but he had to save Carol. And yeah, so he held the gun towards the Saviors, and then he has a moment to himself and thinks, like, what am I doing? why am I doing this? And you could see his finger was off the trigger. It was actually above it, not pressing it. So he kind of had a moment there where he just paused. Everything stopped for him, and he realized what he was doing. But I think that is sort of a symbol of him actually changing. But we'll see when how the season goes on. But I think he is going to change, and he's going to realize that he has to be a little bit more violent and may have to kill more people, which is unfortunate for him. But I guess that's just how the world works now. But I mean, I could see it going both ways, though. Maybe this is a block in the road that tells him no, like, I'm not going to be going down this road. I'm going to go back to the way I was, with being peaceful and, the whole all life matter things, right? All life matters, or all life is precious, sorry, that he lives by. So yeah. So we'll see where that heads or where that goes. I just thought I'd point that out. That was a good moment. And oh yes, and then also thing with Morgan. This is sort of just another thing. Along with it, I'm sort of going out of order here, guys. Just try to keep up with me. I'm sort of I have I have a whole page of notes here on my phone here, and I'm just trying to read them all off. But yeah, so I was just watching the show and typing up. But anyway, so I really see Morgan fitting in with the kingdom, and sort of like believing in what they're doing there, and understands why, and why they have to do it. And I think Carol's the total opposite. I think Carol just thinks it's a joke, as she said in the episode, that she thinks the whole thing's a joke, and she thinks Ezekiel is, stupid for doing what he's doing, hiding basically what's really happening with the world from the people inside the walls. So, but I really think Morgan is fitting in. He understands, again, that's with the all life is precious thing with him, right? He's trying to be a peaceful guy, passive, and this is a perfect place for him, honestly. I mean, he belongs here, and obviously Ezekiel likes him already. So, and what I think is going to come out as well is he's been to the kingdom before, because when he wheels Carol in and he says, if you're a friend of Morgan's, you're a friend of ours, or something like that. So obviously I think he's been to the kingdom before, or maybe he was just talking about because they were there for 2 days before that. So maybe it was just then, but I have a feeling that Morgan has actually been to the kingdom before, before Rick and his group caught up with him again. That's my opinion. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, but that's probably going to come up later. But yeah, I really think he fits in with what they're doing, and he understands why Ezekiel is, basically playing a character and making up, line to his people and keeping this place the way it is. But I don't think Carol sees that, and I don't think Rick and the group is going to see that either. I think that Morgan's going to be alone, and I think that Morgan's going to be sort of Ezekiel's right-hand man. And I used the right-hand man. I think I've used it 3 times so far. But yeah, it's, basically, I think he's going to be the guy for Ezekiel, and I think he's going to want to stay there. But we'll see. I don't know. Like, he may want to catch up with Rick. And I think Morgan and Carol are only going to meet up with Rick and the group probably episode 7 or 8 this season. That's usually just what they do with The Walking Dead. Usually they have stuff like this where the group splits up, and they don't see each other for a half a season usually, So, and that happened with Carol too, and the Terminus thing there for season 5, the beginning of season 5, or the end of season 4, I guess more so. And we didn't see characters for like 3 episodes, and I think it was Tyrese that we didn't see for 3 episodes, and people were wondering where he was. So, I think that, yeah. So, anyways. I don't think they're going to be meeting up anytime shortly. So I think Morgan's going to really, really, really flourish in the kingdom and stay there. And then along with that point is Carol in that house now, as we see at the end of the episode where she's moving in. It's interesting. I don't think she's going to stay there though. I think she's going to with Carol, the whole part of her playing that role at the beginning, and doing all that just doesn't let me trust her. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make me believe that she's gonna stay in that house. I think that the next time we see her in an episode, I think she's gonna. I guess I'm going into predictions here, but you know what I mean. I just don't trust her after what she did about staying in that house. But I think it's the right decision for her. I mean, she's out of the kingdom. She doesn't have to be involved in all that, but she's still safe and not out by herself alone. And obviously Ezekiel comes and visits her, so obviously they are in walking distance, or at least horse distance, as you saw. So yeah, I think that's a good compromise for her, as Ezekiel said it as well. What else do we got about the episode? Oh yes, this was a big part of it that I forgot. So Morgan teaching Benjamin. So that was a big part of the episode. That was probably a good chunk of it. Probably about after that savior meet. I think that chunk there was mainly to this, and I think it's interesting. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting, and I think that a few days went by. By the way, of him teaching him, I think that was maybe that was obvious to some people, but I'm just pointing out that it was elapsed because Benjamin knew quite a bit. As we switched to each scene of them in that little gazebo in the middle of the town, doing the exercise and stuff. So, and I think it's interesting. I mean, I think that it's cool to see Morgan doing it because almost exactly a season ago, we saw Morgan getting taught by his name slips my mind right now. Yeah, it slips my mind right now. But it was a good name. Anyways, if it comes to me, I'll probably shout it out. But anyways, yeah. So that guy there that taught him. So we get to see basically him teaching Benjamin. So that'll be interesting. I don't know. I don't see Benjamin being a long-term character though. Like I sort of thought he was actually gonna die at the beginning, as we saw him being afraid and stuff. And usually they show characters like that, and then they die at the end of the episode. So I thought he was gonna die, but obviously not. I think maybe he'll be in for a couple episodes or 3 episodes. But I think it's good for Morgan because now this whole standard is going to be upheld, and he has this guy Benjamin to sort of look after and be friends with now. So that'll be interesting. Yeah. And I think Benjamin was catching on pretty fast too. So I think that shows good things for him. And I think that, and with Ezekiel watching, and he was pretty happy, pretty proud as well. So maybe this will give Benjamin a purpose. And as Ezekiel said, he wants Benjamin to be one of his top men on this, basically like the crew that is basically secret from the whole kingdom, and does all the secretive stuff and lies. Like the pig hunting and meeting the saviors, which I don't think any of the kingdom people know about the savior thing. So I don't know how Rick's group. I mean, yes, they did kill, like I said before, 30 to 40 people, I guess. So maybe that's why Negan made a huge appearance and with killing Glenn and Abraham there. But the kingdom, it seems like none of their people know. So obviously Ezekiel keeps this on the low, and somehow gets away with it. I mean, they have their own meat spot and everything. So I definitely don't think that's how it's going to go with Rick's group. I think he's going to come knocking to Alexandria, and that's what's going to happen. So we will see. We will see. But I just thought that was pretty interesting there for that. So, what is next? Yeah, so I think Benjamin's going to have a little bit of a future in the show, but I don't see him lasting that long, to be honest. I just had here my friend and I were talking about how it's a nice down episode. I think I said that before a little bit, but yeah, it's a nice down episode. I know maybe some people don't like it as much as last week, but to be honest, I wasn't that enamored with the episode last week. I felt like the whole Glenn and Abraham kill was so predictable. But don't get me wrong, the episode was great. I think it was Greg Nicotero who directed it. He did a great job. It was a good episode, I will admit. It just wasn't my cup of tea, and I really liked this episode. I felt like this is like vintage Walking Dead sort of thing. I don't know. I loved it, and a couple of my friends I was talking to obviously didn't think that highly of it, and we weren't really supposed to. It wasn't supposed to be a good a groundbreaking episode. But I think the next couple episodes are going to be relaxing as well, like this one. But yeah, so also a couple of you guys may have missed this, but and I just searched this up, and a couple of my friends mentioned this to me as well. That Morgan was carving the number 81 on the tree at the one point where he was marking all the marks, so the Rick's group, I guess, could find them. So I'm not sure what that means. I'm not sure what the number 81 is. If you guys have any ideas, definitely, and yeah, if you guys have any ideas about what I'm saying here or extra input, definitely leave it in the comments below. Helps out everyone, helps out me a ton too, because I don't catch everything, you know. I just try to, you know, summarize it and make the best of what I have here. And if I miss stuff, then by all means, put it in the comments, and we can all talk about it, definitely. So yeah, but it's 81, so I'm not really sure exactly what that means. I may have missed something. Maybe some huge Walking Dead fans are gonna get that. I don't, but we'll see. I feel like obviously we're gonna find out eventually. But yes. And then also along with that, we've already talked a little bit about the signs and stuff, but the mailbox and how they showed the red handle on the mailbox multiple times in this episode. He showed it how it was on that house that Carol ended up moving into. He put it up at the beginning, and then when she moved in, he put it down, and it showed it multiple times. So I feel like that's definitely a symbol. That's definitely some symbolism right there. Obviously, he was meaning something. I get it when he put it up as well. Sorry about that. My phone is on here. But yeah, I get when he put it up, because then that lets, you know, people going by know that obviously someone has been there, because the mailbox was closed. I think that's what that thing means. So yes, but basically, and then he puts it down at the end when Carol moves in to the house. So I'm not exactly sure what that all means, but I'm sure we'll find out. And I just thought I'd mention it because I thought it stood out. And then I guess we have to talk about the Ezekiel monologue that people are calling it, I guess. And honestly, I love King Ezekiel. I really like him and the character. I know we've only seen an episode of him. But I really hope he's in the show for a long time. I have a feeling that he's only going to be here with us for this season. Just of, like, how things went and how, you know, he's kind of, you know, faking stuff. And I don't know. I just don't see things going too well for him. But we'll see. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Because I feel like Morgan's going to be the new Kingdom guy. I think as Maggie's going to be the Hilltop leader, I think Morgan's maybe transitioning into the Kingdom. But I hope King Ezekiel lives. I don't know. But yeah, so I really liked him. I thought the honesty with Carol, that last like monologue scene where they're at the fire in the garden, that was awesome. I really liked that scene. And we finally got to see like Carol sort of break down and tell the truth as well with him. So that was definitely interesting. And I think he was able to get through with her because she didn't move into that house at the end. So I definitely think he was able to get through to her. But I don't know to what extent. Like I said, I still don't trust her with staying there and not going out on her own. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But I just really liked that scene. That was a good scene. I think it dragged on for a little bit longer than it maybe could have. To be honest, but it kind of went with the rest of the episode. Kind of a boring episode, a little bit of a low after last week, which I'm not complaining about. That was pretty big, and I do regret that I did miss that episode. And I'm only doing this now, and I do apologize for that. I really should have done that, but whatever. But yeah. So we'll have the rest of the season though, so that's all right. But that's about all I got. That honesty scene was probably my favorite scene of the episode tonight, or last night, sorry. Yeah, that was probably my favorite part, of the episode. That and, probably the Saviors, meetup was pretty big as well. It was pretty impactful. And a lot of stuff happened there. So, yeah. I think that's all that I got. Anything off the top of my head I can think of? Not really. I'm excited for next episode. It's called The Cell, I think, or just Cell. and that should be interesting. Should be a good episode. I still don't think we're going to be meeting up with our group. I don't think we're going to see Rick. I think it's going to be based around Daryl and where Dwight took him and what they're doing to him. I do not think that we are going to meet Rick. But again, I'm getting into predictions, and I'm making a separate video for that, obviously. So, anyways, I think that just about wraps it up. I'm going to try to make the video reviews a little bit shorter than this usually, because I know it's a lot to partake in a 30-minute video. But yeah. So that's how it turned out today. This is my first one, so I'm sure as the season goes along, we will get a little bit better, a little bit more efficient with these. And I'm gonna try to make some more points next time, so I'm able to cover everything. But as I said before, if I missed anything, please let me know. Please put it in the comments below. And yeah, but that just about wraps it up. Season 7, Episode 2, The Well. And I'm also going to be giving this a rating, each episode a rating. And for this one, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I know a lot of people may rate it a lot lower, but I personally enjoyed it. I think it was a good episode. Like I said, vintage Walking Dead. I felt like it was you know, a casual episode, and I really like King Ezekiel and the whole kingdom thing. So yeah, 7 out of 10 I'm giving it. Obviously could have had more action, and could have had more stuff, so that's why it's a 7. But yeah, that will about wrap it up. Thanks for watching. If you have made it all the way through, I appreciate you. Please leave a like if you did enjoy. Like I said, comment below your thoughts and opinions. Also, you comment below your predictions for next week, because, you know, never too soon for that. We only have to wait 6 more days. But anyways, guys, yeah, thanks for watching. Please share the channel with your friends, and we can grow together, get a big family going here, and we can talk about the show together. So, yeah, and of course, subscribe if you're new and you haven't already. That really helps me out. I appreciate it. So, until next week, I will see you then with another review video. But in the meantime, I'll be uploading some content this week, probably at least one countdown and a predictions video for sure for next week's episode. Till then, take care. Bye bye. Peace.